Hello and welcome to News Tonight. I am Rhoda Ngonzi. Let's take a look at the top stories. President Yoweri Museveni to partner with Algeria Nuclear Research Center. Police to investigate iron sheets that were meant for Karamoja. While President Museveni to address the nation, public wants homosexual saga addressed. And in sports, Pleshram Rajani and Saha and Ronak Patel return to the squad after missing out on Kigali tour. Hello once again, let's dig into it. President Yoweri Museveni has visited the Nuclear Research Center of Algiers. After his tour, President Museveni congratulated the Algerian government for taking the right steps in the area of nuclear physics and energy. He added that nuclear energy helps in medicine, agriculture, energy and propulsion. The president highlighted that Uganda will partner with counterparts in Algeria's on specific areas of cooperation. Now, the Police Directorate of Crime Intelligence has established a special team to investigate the Karamoja iron sheets theft. This follows a presidential directive to security to work with the State House Anti-Corruption Unit. Police spokesperson Fred Enanga told the media that the investigations are being handled by the Director of CID and a task force.
Uganda Police, the State House Anti-Corruption Unit, the Directorate of Public Prosecutions and CID are to carry out investigations in the alleged theft of iron sheets meant for Karamoja. At least some high government officials have admitted before the Presidential Affairs Parliamentary Committee to have diverted the iron sheets.
This team to expand on the preliminary inquiries that have so far been conducted and also further liaise with sister agencies like the Office of the Inspectorate of Government and even the parliamentary team that is investigating the same. We are going to interact with all concerned personalities to ensure an expeditious investigation.
Meanwhile, police is holding 5 suspects for causing a 2 billion shillings financial loss meant for printing voting materials, though 600 million shillings so far have been recovered.
Of the Uganda Printing and Publishing Corporation, who are going to court. We are charging them to court this afternoon for causing financial loss and for other related conspiracies. And the 5 suspects we have include Professor Waswa Tom David, who was a former managing director of the UPPC, Mr. Kaseke and Mujuzi Astrapo, the former finance manager.
The Directorate of Immigration has paraded foreign nationals for fraudulently attempting to acquire Ugandan passports. Among these is a Nigerian national who adopted the name Dumba.
But he had managed to get this passport, the electronic passport, and he was using it to exit the country through Busia border to go to Germany, depicting himself as a citizen of Uganda. So we we call upon Ugandans like my brother Serwaji to desist from these acts of criminality where you sell your country just because of very little money.
The Directorate also collects finished passports. So far, the Department of Immigration is stuck with at least 30,000 passports. Abdul Nasser Lobama for UBC.
Meanwhile, government is focused on providing a conducive environment and infrastructure to facilitate the broader utilization of ICTs to spur social and economic development. According to Dr. Amina Zawede, the Permanent Secretary, Ministry of ICT and National Guidance, the sector is essential in bridging the gender divide, in addition to accelerating the achievement of Uganda's Money, Economy and Vision 2040 agenda.
Access to information is for economic growth. It is vital in effectively delivering services that touch the needs of the citizens. The citizens get empowered to access service and participate in governance. Uganda has developed information, communication and technology infrastructure as a global commitment to improve digital inclusion and to realize the Sustainable Development Goals. The Permanent Secretary, Ministry of ICT and National Planning Framework, the National Development Plan 2 and Vision 2040. Adoption and utilization of ICTs has empowered Ugandans and conforms to government's social and economic growth agenda.
We have done the extension of the backbone to over now, I think, 40% to 50% of the country. To date, we boast of every out of 100 Ugandans, 55 Ugandans have a phone and others are connected to the internet. Then in terms of the services, we have many services going online for government and in the private sector. I think in the banking industry, everyone does online banking.
However, stakeholders in the tech space still lament the cost of broadband, unfavorable policies, high taxation of imported internet-enabled gadgets and devices.
So we are urging all players to collaborate and work with one another, work with the government, work with the private sector to make sure that the digital system is safe, secure and affordable. Because at the end of the day, there can't be financial inclusion if there is no accessibility, affordability, and availability.
Inadequate access to the bandwidth that has limited the access to internet itself, and so the procurement or the purchase of what amount of bandwidth has been expensive.
These are concerns, but the state of affairs and demand for data are driving internet uptake and could eventually lower costs.
If we have few users online, then the maintenance of this network is all going to come onto these few users. So we want to bring more users online. We have so many youths in this country, and we're saying if everyone is hooked onto the internet, then we'll be able to have a high turnover of services being engaged on. We'll have revenue generated out of the services that they're being hooked onto. Right now, it is not the case. So that is why you find the costs high. Okay. So now, how do we get more people to get online? They need devices. They need a phone. They need a laptop. But these gadgets are expensive. So we're saying, if we can have subsidies on these devices or taxes waived and we get more people online, then we'll eventually get the cost of internet down.
But government is committed to bridging the gender divide in the digital space, which is in line with this year's International Women's Day theme, Digital Innovation and Technology for Gender Equality.
The advice I give to the girl child out there is to believe in themselves. I think I always have motivational placards. Yeah, motivational placards in my office for anyone who visits. There are many more. Some of them are, you have to do it right now. Otherwise, if you don't seize the moment and opportunity now, then it is gone. So I urge all girls that, I am here, the Permanent Secretary of the Ministry of ICT, a woman who has been raised as a girl and has done sciences, but it is about believing in yourself and that you can do it.
Statistics show that once broadband penetration reaches a critical mass of more than 30%, it significantly impacts on job creation, gross domestic product GDP, broadening of educational opportunities, rural development, and enhancement of public service delivery. Dennis Igo for UBC News.
Now, the public are waiting for President Yoweri Museveni's political statement on whether he forgave the cabinet ministers who were censored by Parliament and those who diverted relief items meant for the people of Karamoja, as in his address to the nation on Thursday. The Speaker, Kampala City Traders Association, Kasita Issa Sechito, says the president also needs to pronounce himself on the issue of homosexuality.
Museveni is expected to address the nation on Thursday this week. This speech follows controversial issues that the public would wish to hear him address. The effects of COVID-19 lockdown cut across.
Many businesses are closing as a result of COVID pandemic. One, the interest rates have eaten up on all creditors. People who borrow money, who borrowed the money and cannot return it, have lost the collateral.
Still in a recovery stage, but we haven't been given any kind of support from the government. We have been paying taxes and other things. So government should have taken some initiative in order to promote this sector, because this
The Speaker, Kampala City Traders Association, Issa Sechito, says as a Ugandan, he wants to know whether the president pardoned his cabinet ministers who diverted funds and those who were censored by Parliament.
That were censored by the Parliament, and we want to know how do they still sit in Parliament. Maybe the president has excused them. We need to hear about that. What reason the earn sheets were used for? As the business people, we think it is very diversionary, and we hope the president to make a very strong political statement about his ministers, because other than that, people might think he's condoning it.
On the homosexuality issue, Sechito wants the president to pronounce himself whether he sees it as a human right. He wishes to hear President Museveni stand with Ugandans. The anti-gay bill has been criticized for having clauses that support homosexuality. Sechito says the clauses give practicability to the penalties in the law.
We want to hear the president pronounce himself as a pro-Ugandan president, regardless of how people in the diaspora, of how people in the other international communities will regard him. But the punishments that are therein can be practically applied, other than adverse sentences that will be challenged in courts of law and are be ridiculed by the United Nations certain conventions that they are not practically applicable.
From the business perspective, Sechito says the president needs to tell them how he is going to address the trade imbalances between the East African member states and the unfavorable policy of taxation on imports.
To know that and talk about how East African member states are now sidelining us by charging very low taxes and therefore rendering us as Kampala non-competitive. The case with used items, so feel it is timely that the policies that are hard pressing the small and medium enterprises, for example, the appointment of agents to withholding tax and VAT, is killing the capital bases of many small enterprises.
Those in the education sector expects the president to talk about information communication technology and innovation, where government makes reforms in education to make ICT compulsory.
Government focuses more into IT education and provide more facilities, like creating more innovation places where government supports the students in order to innovate something, because already government has taken an initiative to start an innovation center, but I don't see anything coming out of it.
As an investor, Amit wishes that President Museveni opens gates for more investors in agriculture and give them subsidies to make Uganda a food supplier in the world.
Uganda is a blessed country by nature, and there are lots of the things going on around the world because of the scarcity of the food all across. So Uganda can be a very productive country in providing the food resources to the whole nation. Because
they wish to hear the President talk about the NSSF reports, parish development model inequalities, and how to create a conducive environment for investors. I'm Nafka Farida and Daniel Gemwa in Kampala.
The National Social Security Fund has reacted to the parliamentary probe on the status of the fund's misuse by top management. NSSF acting MD, that's Patrick Ayota, told the media that the report presented states no evidence of the fund's misuse by NSSF's board or management. Let's take a look.
That Biarogaba, the former MD, wanted to use the 1 billion to give members of the board to approve his contract.
But the issues surrounding the National Social Security Fund abuse have taken a different twist as the NSSF management claimed the funds are not touched at all. The chairman board NSSF, Peter Chimboa, told a media briefing in Kampala that the information given by the Parliament Select Committee on the NSSF probe is wanting.
The general perception in the public has been that a bag was brought to the fund and was filled with 6 billion and taken to Ministry of Labour. That is a very exciting thing to hear and nice, but it did not happen. The 6 billion is here and growing on behalf of members. Number two, the 1.8 billion, which was also mentioned, that the bag was brought here with 1.8 billion and shared among board members as they wished, or according to the list that the MD, the former MD, mentioned. Now, that list, I must state clearly, that list was in the imagination faculty of the MD.
On March 1st, 2023, the Select Committee Chairman, Honorable Mwine Mpaka, presented the report on the status of the National Social Security Fund. But key components underlined were the resignation of the fund's top management, the principle of investment diversification.
The analysis itself, in terms of the recommendations, will still stay put until we see.
Whereas the report underscores areas where NSSF must improve, the committee did not consider the context or information provided.
The committee assumed that the budgeting in NSSF means spending at the fund, which is far from the truth. Budgets are plans that are informed by market assessments. So there's a process for planning, then there's a process for spending. Before any funds are committed, the user department must provide justification for the procurement process to commence or satisfy the accounting officer, among others, of the value for money.
The fund aims at utilizing the parish development model to extend its services to the last mile person.
We are hoping to comb right, leveraging the parish development model, and comb right to the grassroots to ensure that every Ugandan has a reasonable measure of social protection and security.
Charlotte Amuge and Juma Samba for UBC News.
And with that, we take a short break. We'll return with more details. This is News Tonight.
Jerry, hey, Master Blaster, touch him, man. Bang can with muscle. Those ones who say go for you only. Mundava, best good I teach you. When I go to the Muscari, because of the camera is very far. Is you serious? It's yes, you. What? Eh? You step it on it. Add kilometers to your legs, and you get your sugar. We buy meat from Umaru, and Umaru refused to give you enough meat. Mama! Show him that they don't joke with you. Umaru, Jerry,
okukakaluka n'okulungi kwetaagako omuntu akuyambako n'olwekyo tujja kukuteerawo embeera esaanidde osobole okukola ekisinga awamu teri kitulema.
At At Timex Nutrition Center, we advise you on the right foods to eat, exercise profile to adopt, and lifestyle strategies which are compatible to your blood group and genotype. This empowers your body to prevent and treat many diseases like diabetes, blood pressure, arthritis, ulcers, obesity, and many others. For more information, find us at our head office in Kampala on Nassa Road, Conrad Plaza, 2nd floor, or call 0758 819 952 or 0778 288 361. We also have other branches in Bara and Jinja.
Get the most affordable 4G smartphone in Uganda from Airtel. Now heavily discounted from 250,000 shillings to 150,000 shillings only. Yes, 150,000 shillings only to keep you connected to your loved ones.
Dial *175*94# to activate free 1 GB instantly and 100% double data on all weekly and monthly bundles for 3 months. Get one today while stock lasts from the nearest Airtel shop. With Airtel, the smartphone network.
This isn't just a girl. She is the future. This is a teacher, a doctor, a community leader, our future president.
This is our family's pride.
This is my friend.
This is the future of our nation.
She is the future of Uganda, and the policies I enact today will protect her from teenage pregnancy.
She is the hope of our community, and I will talk to others about how we must protect her.
She is our family's pride, and I will protect her from child marriage and talk to her about the dangers of teenage pregnancy. We each have a role to play in empowering our teenage girls to protect them from child marriage and pregnancy, because when we empower them, we empower our nation. Protect the girl, save the nation.
Their support meant so much to me. I stayed focused and was protected from child marriage and teenage pregnancy. I will support other girls against child marriage and teenage pregnancy.
Take action. Report any case of defilement or child marriage to the police or call Sawuti 116.
Are you tired of high fees and slow rates and now sending money from Airtel to other networks in Uganda, East Africa, and to the rest of the world has never been more affordable? Plus, you can trust Airtel Money to get your money where it needs to go quickly and safely. Simply dial *185# and start sending money. Switch to Airtel Money today and experience unbeatable rates and top-notch services for all your local and international money transfer needs. Airtel Money. Instant, secure, borderless.
The Uganda Water and Environment Week is back. Join us as we deliver value internally and externally by promoting a multinational integrated approach that links all sectors of water and environment, and also explore and deliberate on the water and environment resources to climate resilience. The week commemorates 3 sector days of World Water Day, World Forestry Day, and World Meteorological Day. The Uganda Water and Environment Week will take place from 12th to 17th March 2023 at the Ministry of Water and Environment headquarters in Luzira under the theme Water and Environment for Climate Resilient Development.
Uganda Water and Environment Week is organized by Ministry of Water and Environment through the Water Resources Institute with support from development partners.
Welcome back. You're still watching News Tonight. Now in court, High Court Criminal Division has set 24th of March for the court assessors to give a ruling in the murder case of ASP Mohamed Chirumira and Nalinya Resti by Karungi Abubakar. This comes after the court has had all evidence from both parties in the matter.
The accused in the murder case of ASP Mohamed Chirumira has reappeared in the High Court Criminal Division to proceed with the trial. Prosecution led by lawyer Thomas Jatiko presented all the evidence tendered into court in the matter before court against the accused Karungi Abubakar.
My Lord, the accused person in the dock was possessed of a mobile phone and that was making and receiving calls, and that in this area there were masts, telecommunication masts, which enable communication of mobile phones, and was not able to recognize or identify, was not able to identify clearly who these two persons on the motorcycle were shooting at the motor vehicle.
He also added that the 16 witnesses in the case all directly point out at Abubakar how he was involved in the murder. With this, he asked court to find the accused Kalungi Abubakar guilty.
My Lord, we have prosecution has already referred to the conduct of running away by the accused all the way from where he stayed soon after the commission of the offense, all the way to Bulisa, where he was eventually arrested. My Lord, this is all evidence to show and pin the accused person to participating in the commission of this offense.
However, the prayer was rejected by the accused's lawyer Zimpe Zephania, who cited that the evidence is duplicated, thus asking court to acquit the accused.
Submitted and highlighted all the reason why the accused person is innocent and court should find him innocent. We have informed court that there are major contradictions and inconsistencies in the prosecution case, and which shows that they do not have enough evidence to implicate the accused person, and the accused person has not placed at the scene of crime, or nothing shows that he actually participated in the commission of the offense.
He also told court that the accused Abubakar was forced to sign the confession documents while he was at Semai in Imbuya.
We have also submitted that the prosecution cannot rely on the alleged charge and caution statement because it was procured through duress and force. The accused person was tortured, so that confession and that charge and caution statement cannot stand according to the law, and we have prayed court to reject it and find the accused person innocent and acquit him.
Judge Margaret Mutoni set the 24th of March 2023 for court assessors to deliver a ruling in this matter. Court will also give its final ruling in this case. Rebecca Nantongo, Susan Nabgude, UBC News.
And the hearing of the case where 8 people are accused of murdering Sheikh Masood Mutumba has flopped following prosecution's failure to present a witness. In another development, the General Court Martial has transferred the file to the 2nd Division of Court Martial in Mbarara, where 3 people are accused of murdering 3 family members in Liantonde.
On
2nd November 2020, the General Court Martial remanded to Ruzira Government Prison Private Kakulu Benon, Mwebaze Nathan and Nyesiga Eriad, who were charged with murdering 3 family members using an SMG gun. The accused are said to have committed the alleged offences while at Katianza Trading Center, Chinuka Sub-County, in Liantonde District. Although the case has been in court for 4 years, prosecution has failed to present witnesses. Tule prosecution led by Giftimo Wahamwe asked court to transfer the file to Mbara 2nd Division Court Martial for trial of the matter. The defense legal team objected, but Chairman General Court Martial Brigadier General Freeman Robert Mugabe granted the application.
That the state has presented sufficient reasons for the transfer with file case 2nd Div or 2nd Division Court Martial. 2. Accordingly, this court orders that case file number UPDF/GCM/054/2019 be transferred to 2nd Division Court Martial, plus the accused persons.
Meanwhile, the General Court Martial in Machindye has set 5th April 2023 to resume hearing of the case, where 8 people are accused of killing Sheikh Masudi Mutumba. Sheikh Masudi Mutumba was murdered at Busimba village in Bujiri district on 5th February 2020. The accused persons include LDC Mugoya Balidusha, Mugoya Abiasali, Moses Koja, Kato Sulaiman, Mwanda Charis, Jagenda John Henry, and Mugoya Alex. Although the case was adjourned for further hearing, prosecution failed to present witnesses. Chairman Brigadier General Freeman Robert Mugabe adjourned the matter.
Is more or less like doing other duties. So we pray that if the witness does not avail himself on the asked for date of the 5th of April, court directs the state to proceed with another witness, and perhaps the evidence of the said witness is expunged from the record.
So far, 2 witnesses, Safiati Nabide, the widow to the deceased Sheikh Masudi Mutumba, and son Musaka Nabida, have testified in this matter. Deborah Namamonde, UBC News.
And the Permanent Secretary, Ministry of Health, Dr. Diana Atwine, has blamed poor hygiene and sanitation on some political leaders. She was speaking at the launch of a symposium of the National Sanitation Week in Kampala under the theme Sanitation and Hygiene for All.
Local government, what are you doing here to address this problem? And we have given you timeline that you must also address these things.
The Permanent Secretary, Ministry of Health, Dr. Diana Atwine, has launched Sanitation Week to improve hygiene and sanitation in rural and urban areas. Diana says the state of hygiene in the country is still wanting and urges leaders to advocate for better sanitation.
It's high time that we engaged in a more meaningful way. We put in practice and bylaws and strategies that change the status quo, that we make sure that we have effective response to sanitation and hygiene issues. So the purpose of us coming here is really to bring together the players in this field of hygiene and sanitation, to start talking together, to start collaborating together, but also most importantly to bring the awareness to the population that they need to take responsibility of their environment and make sure that we reduce the disease burden.
Diana, however, advises on effective urban planning, enforcement, and environmental conservation as solutions to improve living conditions and reduce diseases caused by poor sanitation. She called on for collective efforts and other government agencies to advocate for improved sanitation and hygiene.
If we just all of us work towards emphasizing prevention of all these factors that lead to diseases related to hygiene and sanitation, we would save money, huge amount of money. Malaria, that is the biggest killer of our people right now. What is the cause? The cause is because of environment.
The Commissioner of Environment and Health at the Ministry of Health, Dr. Herbert Nabasa, gives the statistics of sanitation and hygiene in the country.
The most worrying figure is that we still, in the current century, 21st century, we still have about 23% of our population practicing open defecation. This is a very bad practice that we need to avert and stop immediately. In this era, we shouldn't be seeing any open defecation whatsoever it is. Sanitation coverage is still very low in communities.
Despite the government's intervention on sanitation and hygiene, Uganda still faces water sanitation and hygiene challenges, with 23% and 9.4% of the population still practicing open defecation in both rural and urban areas. This year's Global Sanitation Week celebrations will be held at Mbale School of Hygiene on the theme Sanitation and Hygiene for All. Justin Nakami for UBC News.
And experts have warned that cases of glaucoma blindness are increasing in Uganda due to public ignorance. An ophthalmologist at Makerere University College of Health Sciences, Dr. Anna Mpere, says the spreading nature of the disease from the periphery of the eye going inwards makes it difficult for patients to detect.
As part of celebrating World Glaucoma Day, Makerere University has organized a one-week screening exercise to create awareness on the disease.
Glaucoma is a disease that has three major things that make it a complex, and it leads to blindness. It can be a result of raised intraocular pressure in the eyes. We are commonly aware of pressure in the blood, but we also have pressure in the eyes. And this, once it goes high, it tends to affect the nerve, which transmits messages to the brain, and we see what we see. So when the fluid increases in the eye, it creates a lot of distension, and the eye doesn't expand. So there is more pressure inside.
Glaucoma is prevalent in people above 40 years of age, with risk groups being diabetic, high blood pressure, and those with the family history of the disease.
If you're already above the age of 40, please make sure you go for a check. Let your pressure be measured and you know where you are. If you have diabetes, if you have hypertension, please make sure you check your eye pressure as well.
Symptoms of glaucoma are not severe, with patients not feeling any pain at its inception, but remains the deadliest irreversible cause of blindness.
Glaucoma is usually termed as the silent thief of sight, because the issue with it is that when a person has glaucoma, they never notice that they actually have the condition, because the vision loss starts right from the side and then slowly comes into the center. By the time a person notices that I have a problem, usually the vision has already been lost.
Experts warn that the continued public ignorance on the disease has increased cases of blindness in society, with many seeking medical attention at an irreversible stage.
And one of the other things that comes in as a sign and symptom is sometimes when you look at light, say it is a torch, or it is bright light at night, or it is a bulb at night, one can tend to see round rings like of a rainbow around it. First in the world, the whole world, is the second leading cause of blindness, but the worst part about it is that it's the first leading cause of irreversible blindness. We have many things that cause blindness, and the blindness can be reversed. For example, cataracts. If someone has a hazy lens, you can operate it and they see again. But with optic nerve damage, that is as a result of glaucoma, once it has happened, it is irreversible.
Nga sikyalaba kasimu mpola mpola nga nsiiwa nga siraba bulungi wenti buli yatandika nga gansiiwa mpola mpola nga sikifaako nyongo kikuru nga ligenda okola ki okufa nga gagenda okwonooneka maaso gange weegati wenti bulwadde bubajja mpola mpola.
Sada Mubale, UBC News.
The Indian business community has made a donation of 15 million shillings to support Ginger Cancer Institute and 30 million shillings worth of paint from Plascon, Uganda. The Indian business community in Uganda has held cultural celebrations to mark the history of their holiday 2023. The event, characterized by spraying colored water and powder, was held in Kampala.
Holi is one of India's popular festivals, signifying the beginning of spring, a period where Indians celebrate their new year in the months of March and April.
We celebrate this festival from the era of Lord Krishna. It's a divine festival for the celebration of the love of Lord Radha and Lord Krishna. And this festival is basically for the day of new friendships, day of repairing all grievances, repairing of all kind of relationship.
The festival is characterized with spraying colored water and powder in open space to the celebrants. This year's celebrations have been held at KCCA grounds in Kampala.
We have called roadside selling people who are selling roasted maize, roasted nuts and boiled maize, and we have given them one free stall. They have come here and then we are giving them cash prizes, and we are going to, it's a kind of underprivileged business woman empowerment. We are giving strengthening to them. We have already appealed our people to buy from them and give them some money and tell them to strengthen their business and grow in the life.
This event is
Meanwhile, the number of deliveries at Rukochi Health Center 4 have increased from 100 to 500 per month in the absence of a maternity ward, which was set to bless in 2021. Some buildings have been customized to other services, but the influx of patients is suffocating the center. A fundraising marathon has been organized by Rotary Club Kasese Snow Peaks to raise funds to have the maternity ward renovated.
Rukoki Health Center 4 in Kasese District Maternity Ward set ablaze, arising from an electrical short circuit caused by a refrigerator as occupants were evacuated in June 2021. Other structures have been used to offer health services to patients.
By creating space in what was a kitchen so that we deliver mothers, and what was an immunization shelter was remodeled so that we can have where to keep the mothers, as well as providing tents around. As you may see, you have seen people sleeping outside on the verandas, in the corridors.
Health services are free, but operating without sufficient space for mothers seeking maternity services. At least 170 million shillings is required to renovate the structure. Rotary Club Kasese Snow Peaks has started fundraising to renovate the maternity ward.
And when we found the roof had been burnt down, we immediately jumped in and started writing letters to the key personnel that are needed. For example, this is a government facility. The ministry has to be aware of what you're doing. And we kick-started the fundraiser.
Minister of State for ICT, Godfrey Kabyanga, will participate in the marathon on the 25th of March 2023.
So I support Rukoki Health Center 4 with all my heart, and I'm coming to run for this maternity ward. And I would like to promise you that I will mobilize friends and partners. The money which you want, we shall collect on that day. That one is a must, I would like to promise you.
The deliveries at the hospital have increased from 100 to between 300 and 500 per month.
And me, I have not been missing words on that. Even when some people have other ideas, I still believe this health center 4 should be upgraded to hospital status because of the area it serves.
Ivan Kahwa, UBC News in Kasese District.
Meanwhile, following the escalating cases of child abuse in Teso sub-region, National Children's Authority has community development officers in Komi District, Bukedea, Serere and Katakwi districts. The Executive Director, NCA, Martin Chiza, told
National Children's Authority has met senior women and men from 7 districts of Teso in Soroti City and guided schools on formation and establishment of child rights clubs in their schools. These would empower children to protect themselves against bad elements. The Executive Director of the National Children's Authority, Martin Kaiser, also held a training with senior women and men in Soroti on child abuse and same-sex relationship.
Respect your teachers, respect your elders, respect your parents, respect your caretakers, and respect your fellow peers. You understand? Yes.
Some of the primary schools visited include St. Anne Madara Girls School.
I look at child labor as giving a child assignments that she cannot accomplish. Okay, by the end, that child is traumatized because of the work.
The National Children Authority's Martin Kiza met students of St. Anne Girls' School and advised them to report bad people to parents and teachers.
She's a woman. Be careful. Be careful. Be what? Careful. Report to your mom and to teacher. You understand?
Yes.
Because abuse is coming so high. And those people who abuse you will not really make you succeed in life. So now on homosexuality, you've heard of the problem that is happening these days. So we are saying that whenever there is any problem, you report to the teachers. Don't wait to be trapped.
And in Soroti, 4 teachers are in prison for defiling children, and the community is cautioned against abusing children.
I know about children's rights. Children's rights are basic freedoms children are supposed to enjoy. Examples: a right to education, a right to food, education, a right to have a name, a right to belong to a religion.
In Soroti, many cases were reported to the probation officer of Soroti City starting January to March 2023. Child abandonment, 98 cases. Domestic violence, 97. Missing children, 39. Child labor, 91. Child desertion, 47. Children placed in alternative care facilities, 1,265. Sandra Kahunde, Stephen Kayumba, UBC News.
Paying your bills the old way.
Let's go, let's go. Just need to buy some power.
Paying your bills with the My Airtel app.
Bro, there's a line.
You have the power in your pocket. The power to instantly pay your bills hassle-free. Unlock that power with the My Airtel app. Visit the App Store or Google Play now.
Oh, you're back. At Timex Nutrition Center, we advise you on the right foods to eat, exercise profile to adopt, and lifestyle strategies which are compatible to your blood group and genotype. This empowers your body to prevent and treat many diseases like diabetes, blood pressure, arthritis, ulcers, obesity, and many others. For more information, find us at our head office in Kampala on Nassa Road, Conrad Plaza, 2nd floor, or call 0758 819 952 or 0778 288 361. We also have other branches in Mbara and Jinja.
Talk with freedom. Get MTN Freedom voice bundles that don't expire. Dial *100 *21 hash or my MTN app for more bundles. Together, we're unstoppable.
And on business news, 3 countries of Eastern and Southern Africa have combined efforts to tackle the fall armyworm that affected crops between 2016 and 17. Agroecological researchers from Malawi, Zambia and Uganda want to test, adapt and demonstrate the suitability of new innovations for smallholder farming systems. This was shared during the agroecological project inception and stakeholders meeting in Kampala, where NARO, National Agricultural Research Organization, called for use of environmentally friendly pesticides.
They are responding to a disaster that invaded the African continent, including Uganda, in 2016 and 2017. the fall armyworm threatens the production of maize, among other crops. This is why the agroecology management of the fall armyworm in Eastern and Southern Africa has been unveiled.
We had to take time to identify the right parasitoids. For example, what are those insects that are able to lay their eggs in the bodies of fall armyworm and destroy them? How we had to try and customize these options.
This is being done in partnership with the International Center of Insect Physiology and Ecology. Climate smart, gender responsive, agroecological approaches and biorational products have been developed for the fall armyworm management.
And the ultimate purpose is for them to reduce pesticide use, one, to increase income, two, to increase yield of their maize, and also to work with policymakers to maybe institutionalize some of these integrated pest management approaches against fall armyworm.
We have now gathered enough data beyond reasonable doubts to know that these are safe options, these are applicable options, these are effective options, and then these are options that we know can be sustainable in our farming systems.
The 3-year initiative that started in December 2022 runs up to November 2025. Funded by GIZ, National Agriculture Research Organization NARO, is optimistic there will be proper management of crop pests.
Part of our work is working with farmers, and to this end we've trained over 20,000 farmers in areas of economic skills, basic economic skills, and climate smart agriculture.
Why we promote these items is so that there is minimal environmental impact. That's the main rationale for use of bio-based products.
Total Land Care in Malawi, National Agriculture Research Organization in Uganda, and Zambia Agriculture Research Institute in Zambia are the agencies under which the project is being implemented. Henry Okrut, UBC.
Are you tired of high fees and slow transfer time when sending money? Look no further. Airtel Money is here to revolutionize the way you move your money. We have revised our rates, and now sending money from Airtel to other networks in Uganda, East Africa, and to the rest of the world has never been more affordable. Plus, you can trust Airtel Money to get your money where it needs to go quickly and safely. Simply dial *185# and start sending money. Switch to Airtel Money today and experience unbeatable rates and top-notch services for all your local and international money transfer needs. Airtel Money. Instant, secure, borderless.
And now in sports, the Uganda men's cricket team, the Cricket Cranes, is set to travel to Qatar tomorrow, the 14th of March, for a 4-day match series against their hosts. The matches will be played between the 14th and 25th, and with the purpose to better prepare the Ugandan team for ODI cricket.
The Cricket Cranes will play 4 ODI games against Qatar during their 2-week tour to the nation. The team that is set to leave for Qatar tomorrow, the 14th of March 2023, has 3 changes from the team that toured Rwanda in December 2022. Joseph Baguma misses out due to school, Emmanuel Hassasha is unavailable, and Bilal Hassan is away due to family commitments.
3 changes. Remember last year, Riyazat Ali Shah had a broken finger. Alpesh was also injured, and Ronak had a sore knee. So the 3 of them come back into the team. Joseph Baguma, exciting youngster, but he's still at school, so we've allowed him to stay at school. He's doing his S6. Bilal Hassan, we've given him a bit of time off to go spend with the family. And Hasaya is another one that misses out on this tour. So you know how disappointed we are in not making it into the one-day playoffs. And this for me is a start of a journey. In how do we play one-day cricket differently. And hopefully you'll...
UBC News.
Meanwhile, the National Badminton League returned its second leg over a weekend, exactly 1 month after the first leg. Over 60 participants competed in the weekend matches that were divided into schools, super and corporate categories. The games were played at CFK Badminton Academy along Mawanda Road.
It was all badminton action over the weekend at the CFK Badminton Academy on Mawanda Road as the National Badminton League went into its second leg. Though it was delayed for a month, it did not deter the players as they showed great skill and competitiveness and corporate. Though it was delayed for a month, it did not deter the players as they showed great skill and competitiveness on the court in all the three categories: schools, super and corporate.
Well, we're here today for the second day or the second week of the National Badminton League. What is new is that we have an addition of schools, because last time we had the corporate and this Super League. Today we've been joined by 13 schools, and with me here, as you can see, it's Buckingham Junior School. It's a primary school, and actually it's the only primary school that has joined the schools league, so it's very interesting and they're very good players. Basically what we're looking at, and our main focus for the league is the schools league. Because this is where the development takes place. We need to have more of these youngsters coming in early in competition, and the league will give them more playing time, more competitions to get accustomed to competition much early before they get into the elite stage.
I like playing badminton, and the reason why I came here to play this league is because I want to play and get more improvement, because when I'm playing with my colleagues, yeah, I can get more improvement, but still I have to involve in the game so that I can do it better.
This is my first league of schools because I started during COVID time. I feel so happy because I've got a lot of experiences, seeing different people playing, getting more skills from them.
Among the winners were Kakungulu Memorial, Chinawa High School and Chiboli SS in the boys category, Bogo High School and Dubaga Girls in the girls category. Deja University and Victoria University were the winners in the Super League, as Entebbe Institute Club and CFK Corporate Badminton Club rose the flag high in the corporate category. Super and corporate categories have all played 2 games so far, as the schools have played 1. All the participants in the different categories will be back in action on Saturday, 18th March 2023. Grace Joyce Kemigisa, UBC News.
And now a recap on the headlines. President Museveni to partner with Algeria Nuclear Research Center. Police to investigate the Karamoja iron sheets matter. While President Museveni to address the nation, public wants homosexual saga addressed. And Alpesh Ramjani, Raizat and Ronak Patel returned to the squad after missing out on Chigali.